Next up here, Senator Schumer seeks DHS plan on AI cyber coordination. The Senate's top Democrat called on the Department of Homeland Security to work closely with state and local governments to defend against artificial intelligence strength hacks. The Senate Minority Leader wrote to DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen to make sure state, local, tribal, and territorial, or SLTT governments aren't left behind as AI models advance, proposing new hacking threats. In his letter, he stated that it was glaringly obvious that the Department of Homeland Security needs to update its plan for coordinating these efforts with their respective governments. Schumer wants a plan from DHS by July 1st. This seems like something that I don't know, should have already had in hand, yet also is an extraordinarily aggressive timeline for the government for any kind of strategy. Peter, I want to start with you here. What do you want to know more about as they build out the strategy? I'm curious, where do you land on this?
Oh man, I really feel for SLTT, right? They are underfunded, constantly behind from a technology and updating standpoint and everything else, and they have the soft underbelly of America when it comes to cyber. And good Lord, now comes the AI apocalypse again, right? We should have a little bell and say it. Cyber should be a bipartisan issue, and I think I'm hoping that this has the administration relook at how they're doing funding for DHS. If you looked at some broad cuts from DHS and their cyber unit, especially with the engagement side for state and local. So I'm hoping this puts a light on that and has them rethink their strategy.
Yeah, we have seen some bipartisan support of whether it's regulations about data centers or stuff like that. It doesn't seem completely partisan at this point. I'm sure give it 6 months. It's politics. Eventually it'll get to that point, I'm sure. But at this point, yeah, I would assume this would have been under the banner of CISA up until a couple of months ago, but that seems to be a four-letter word now at this point. Gary, I'm curious, what about for you? Is this something that you want to be thinking about now, or you wait until we have that strategy in place?
I think I'd like to double click on what Peter mentioned, which was budgets, because I think that's actually the biggest issue. Most of the time, people aren't like, "Hey, Rich, I'd love to be insecure." Nobody says that. Everybody wants security. Everybody likes that. The problem is they don't want to pay for it. So if the federal government or DHS comes in and says, "Hey, I'd like you to do this security control, and here's a bucket of money," guess what? It's probably going to get done. But if there's no budget that's involved and you're just telling them, "Hey, do this," and they're like, "Well, how can I do it? I have no money," then all you're doing is you're creating a bunch of churn, because now you're just having people create reports to look like they're doing something even though they're not. So I think whatever bill comes out of this, or standards or whatever, they have to come with a bucket of money.
Yeah, here's a mandate with no resources to actually accomplish it is a great way to get people out of civil service, to be quite honest. Hopefully that is part and parcel with that.